I mean to scour the annals for knowledge of Midgard Summer. Given his great age, I dare you say he appears in more than a few... Hmm? Do you hear that? The commotion outside. Do you see if aught is amiss? Well, given the name of the quest, I have some ideas of what might be going on. Archon, 'tis well you are on hand. We have a problem. Morel has escaped. Shortly after the Immortal Flames took her into custody, she'd been placed in a dungeon cell ahead of her coming trial, but apparently the accommodation was not to her liking. The turnkey was found slain along with 2 guards. 'Tis plain she received inside help. Citizens report seeing Royale quitting the city within the gate of Nald with a bloodied spear in her hand. She makes from Castrum Meridianum, I'm certain of it. Her fate in Eorzea is good as sealed. What recourse has she but to flee to her imperial masters? Even as we speak, Captain Ilberd and the First are hot upon Royale's heels. Pray make haste to Camp Bluefog and join the hunt. Why is everyone sending me to Camp Bluefog all of a sudden? My thanks for coming, Scion. I've spoken with the soldiers here. They say that Rael walked through the camp not a bell ago. And she walked right through. You did not mishear. We have Raubon's decision to keep the matter secret to thank for that. Bad for morale, he said. As a result, not a single flame in the garrison made any attempt to detain her. And so here we are. Rael must not be allowed to reach Castrum Meridianum. We might as well talk to the experienced adventurer over here while we're in the area. Save your greetings. If you're looking for a hired blade, then you'll have to look elsewhere. For the day I've had, the only company I crave is a squat, silent type. The type that has a handle and holds no less than a pint of ale. You wish to hear my tale? I warn you, 'tis no scarring epic. But as you asked, my employer, a Lalafellan lad, wished to pay a visit to a peddler who deals in some manner of special sand. I forget what it was called, but 'tis apparently worth a small fortune. Anyway, when we arrived, the man claimed his stock had been stolen by bandits. Determined not to return empty-handed, we crept into the bandit stronghold and set about locating the stolen goods. Long story short, alarms were raised, rogues were awoken, and we fled in a blind panic. I was separated from my employer in the confusion, and I've not seen him since. Oh, a friend of yours, is he? Then you'd best be prepared for the worst. It is just possible the poor sod may yet be lost in the old Amagina Mithraline. But I fear the bandits will have caught up with him by now. Focus on progressing the MSQ. We got about another 20 minutes before my usual end, and I'd like to finish up by then. I'm not stopping until I finish 2.4. Okay, let's go. Wretch was with Rael. He threw himself at us so that his mistress might escape. She didn't blink when we cut him down, not even when he started screaming. No loyalty even to her own, the goddamn harpy. With me, Scion, we almost have her. Well, that's a lot of them. And she's far more dressed for combat this time. Why are you so spread apart? Enemy reinforcements. Look sharp, men. Show them no quarter. I want Rael alive. Kill the rest. For Eorzea. Won't take me so easily this time. What? Can't move. Should be able to. Because you're linked to it. They just keep sending more reinforcements, huh? Can't kill her. You have to beat up everything else, you can't just kill her. Bind her, and do it tight. Yes, sir. Good work, men. She and her Imperial cronies pushed us close, but we were better. Behold, a respected officer of the Immortal Flames. People looked up to you as one of the Order's founding members, one of its pillars. It saddens me to see you fallen so low. What would you know of low? You, a spoiled little lordling who has never known any want. She got you, but people such as you take wealth and birth for granted. You think it your God's given right to rule over others. You know naught of our plight, the the injustice that we low-bornish guardians must endure. To the noble lords and ladies, we're not people, but resources to be consumed. I did what I had to do to survive. Stealing, killing, even whoring myself. It is no fault of mine if fools imagined me a paragon when I joined the flames. Hear you tell it. One would think you the only person ever to have suffered. In case you've forgotten, Robon himself was born into poverty, as was I. We lived hand to mouth, with little more than the shirts on our backs. Hunger was our constant companion. Yet never did we bemoan our lot in life, nor did we begrudge others their fortunes. We accepted the hand we had been dealt, and played it to the best of our ability. Life was battle, aye, but no matter what fate threw at us, we took it on the chin and came back for more. Everything we have, we fought for. Any different then? It's true they were both mercenaries of lowly birth. 'Tis true that we both had our fair share of struggles. But whereas I sold my sword, Marshal, you sold your comrades. Life has taught me one thing, is that you never betray your own. I'd sooner cut off my own arm than raise a hand against a friend. But enough talk. You will return to Ul'dah to face justice, and the people whose trust you have dragged through the gutter. So much as a hint of remorse. Tis well that this sordid business is finally at an end. Sven's betrayal cuts deeper than steel. We must hope that we have chosen our own allies more wisely than Robon chose his.
I've heard. Truly bothersome business. No, I do not foresee a problem on that front. The main concern is Robon. There is no telling what the brute might do. Have the Blades watch him in the flames day and night. You may leave the Sultana to me. I shall personally attend her grace. Sever one of the East Aldenard trade routes. That ought to keep Lolorito occupied for a while. Nanamo Ulnamo. For my sake, pray be a good little Sultana to the last.
Captain Ilbert and I have a few questions for the Flame Marshal regarding the circumstances of her miraculous escape. When we have completed our interrogation, you shall take our findings directly to General Robon, and that shall be the end of it. Your work here is done, my friend. My thanks. But I have one last task for you. Return to the Rising Stones and appraise Minfili of all that has happened. I am aware that the antecedent held Royale in high regard. For better or worse, you want to know how this tale ends. Pray return to the Rising Stones. might be pretty close to the end.
Welcome back, my friend. I have already received word from Alphino. To think that Flame Marshal Huayu was the Garlean agent. I know not what to say. Together with Robon, Eileen lent us much-needed aid at the time of our Order's founding. She was particularly passionate about the need to tackle the primal threat. When we discussed the subject, her eyes fairly shone with determination. Whatever else she may have been, I choose to believe that it was her true self with whom I spoke then. But now is not the time to dwell on such matters. I have an important announcement to make regarding our effort to defeat the Ascians. We shall begin as soon as everyone is assembled. My thanks for coming, friends. Moonbreeder, the floor is yours.
By now, I'm sure you're all familiar with white auracite, the miraculous material that'll allow us to capture Ascian souls. Back at Snowcloak, we verified its ability to absorb vast amounts of ether. Alas, it leaves something to be desired in the area of stability. The stone can only store ether for a short while before expelling its contents.
In addition to auracite's inherent limitations, we must needs be wary of our enemy's strength. Our foe draweth upon an infinite wellspring of power. Even should we succeed in entrapping him, the stone will not long contain his wrath.
Meaning that, if we want to kill the swine, we'll have to be quick about it.
'Tis our belief that an Ascian soul may be permanently undone, if smitten by a sufficiently concentrated burst of pure ether.
Good theory.
The only trouble is, we can't say for sure how concentrated the burst needs to be. Without knowing how much ether an Ascian soul is composed of, we're basically guessing.
Our sole clue lieth in thy struggle with La Habrea.
During that encounter, Heidelin bid you forge what she called a Blade of Light, a weapon which took the form of a luminous stream of energy. Based on your description, we believe the blade with which you vanquished your foe was composed of ether. Admittedly, your victory proved ephemeral, as La Habrea was able to use a crystal of darkness to flee into the space that lies between our world and the void. The fact remains, however, that Heidelin placed the means to destroy the Ascians in your hands. Be that as it may, it would be unwise to assume that she will do the same when we next encounter such a foe.
Quite so, my lady. We must needs find the means to forge our own blade of ether, one to equal that which Heidelin did benevolently bestow upon her champion.
That is all well and good, but it seems to me that producing such a blade will require a prodigious quantity of ether. Whence will it come, pray tell?
Oh, what if we had two pieces of white auracite? One to trap the Ascian, and the other to store the ether for the blade.
Oh, nice try. But it's as I said, the stone won't hold ether for any length of time. We'd still need to collect the stuff there and then, sorry to say.
And therein lies the rub. Finding a way to create the blade whenever and wherever we choose.
That does seem to be a problem.
It would seem more research is in order.
I'm going to linger a while, perform a few more tests on the aura site. And I could do with some help. Urianger, why don't you lend me a hand?
Mine apologies, but I am required at the Waking Sands. Lady Minfilia hath given me sole charge of the premises. 'Twould be unseemly to leave them unattended.
Sole charge, you say? So you're basically alone there, then? Well, that settles it. I'll just have to come to you.
Okay, Moonbreeder. Mommy left you home alone? Oh, I'm coming over.
While you were afield, word arrived from the Sharlayan motherland. You will recall that a survey party was dispatched to investigate the incident at the Isle of Val. What they discovered was troubling, to say the least. According to the report, the Isle has been erased from existence. 'Twas as if a hole had been torn in the very fabric of reality.
Aye, yet the mystery endeth not with the Isle's disappearance. It hath come to light that a number of scholars in various other locales were reported missing at a similar juncture.
What's more, they all had something in common with the head of the students of Baldessian. Every last one of them was researching a phenomenon called dimensional compression, or the rejoining as the ancient texts call it. I'll be damned if that's a coincidence.
All indications suggest Ascian involvement, but I sense that a force greater still is at work. The entity the Dark Beings call the One True God.
Zodiark?
We must pray that my dear friend Kryl regains consciousness soon. If she bore witness to the Isle of Val's final moments, she may be able to shed some light on this mystery.